Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Wednesday, September 24th, 2025 by Gaia Blooming. I'm Mimi, and our energy mantra for today is I take the time to nurture my sense of balance. I think the key here is take the time, right? Stop and take the time to check in. Again, today's one of those early and often days with your own equilibrium, center, balance, any and all of that, and know that it's always an in and out kind of thing. We don't stay stagnant, nor should we. We are not buildings. We are humans. We're meant to flow. But here we are in our final of these intensity days. Now, can I claim that there won't be any intensity after this? No, I cannot claim that, but at least we've moved through this batch of storms. I say that as there are storms here right now. So what are the storms today? We have Mars being super activated today. So we have Mars in conjunct with Neptune, and then we have the moon moving into Scorpio and joining up with Mars as it squares Pluto. So moon conjunct Mars squaring Pluto. That is a really intense energy or set of energies. And I have to say, I'm not going to read this card again, but I pulled the breaking card again. So you might want to go back to yesterday's reading on that, because I do feel like there's a sense of breaking in this energy. Just as a reminder, Mars is like a power keg. Mars is what helps drive our energy. It helps move us. And Mars and Scorpio were driven by passion. We're driven by desire. But we can also be driven by the desire to enact justice. Justice wouldn't actually be the word that I would choose. Revenge would be the word that I would choose. Enact revenge, right? This energy squaring Pluto, Pluto in Aquarius, which can represent the power or the lack of power in the collective, is squaring this energy. And then we throw in the moon just for a little extra oomph, because it's not enough, right? And so the moon brings the emotional energy, and the moon can bring hidden things. My feeling of the moon in Scorpio, it's like the shadows that you've forgotten about that can sometimes grow bigger. And I don't want to say turn into monsters. I don't want to say that. I don't want to claim that for anybody. But those energies can build within you. And so, again, this combination is a bit of a power keg. It's a bit of a power struggle, and it's a square. And the square can drive that frustration force. Now, the good news of this is that it's happening kind of all at once instead of being drawn out through the day. And it's happening for many of us in the States, at least earlier in the day, although some people's morning commute might get a little fiery. So again, finding your center, connecting with yourself early and often will help with this, but also being really aware of those hidden frustrations, anger, grudges. That's a good word. And I know that there's so much anger up in the world and in the collective, and I think that's something to be really aware of in this energy. So with the strong air energy that we have going on, all of us have extrasensory antenna selves going on. So we're feeding even more into the collective. And obviously there's been so much going on with everything. I don't even want to say some of the words of the things. There's a lot, but we're feeling into it. And even that is pushing our buttons because it's taxing our nervous system. It's pushing our nervous system to really intense places. And one of the big energies of Scorpio to always be aware of is Scorpio can tune us into survival stuff. It can tune us into our root chakra, and where we feel like if we don't lash out, if we don't react, we're not going to survive. And so that's one of the biggest things to be aware of in this energy, that little things can set off that survival reaction energy. So let's look at this timeline. We have the moon moving into Scorpio at 2 a.m. Pacific time, and then Mars, Pluto, and Moon Pluto, and Moon Mars, which is a whole other story. That all happens between 4:52 a.m. and 4:56 a.m. Like I said, it's all happening together. Moon and Mars is always interesting because I always mention Moon and Mars can lead to temper tantrums. Mostly because Mars, again, it just wants to drive, it wants to go, it wants to move. And if it hits those frustrations, those places that seem to stop, it needs to unleash. Mars can be kind of like a volcano. This energy that Mars has does need to move through somehow. And then the moon just adds that emotional oomph to it, like I said. So that's the other story. You may find yourself in an emotional roller coaster early in the morning, early in the day, feeling the feels. This could also come up in sleep. This can also come up when you're trying to sleep. I swear last night while I was trying to sleep, everything kept waking me up. I would fall asleep and then a cat would do something or an alarm would go off or something. It was just all night. So you may have some of that that's also driving that frustration energy. Awareness is important. It's a big piece of the puzzle, but finding your center and tending to yourself and tending to your little inner monsters. They're just little ones. That will help. We also have Mars, like I said, in conjunct with Neptune. It's not actually Neptune, sorry. It's actually Uranus. Mars in conjunct Uranus. Oof, a little bit more chaotic energy in that. Yesterday was Mars and Neptune. Today is Mars and Uranus. So Mars and Uranus also kind of start the show interacting, and Uranus likes to push the buttons. Uranus knows which buttons to push to help you in your evolution, to help you in your liberation, but it's not necessarily pleasant because Uranus knows where you're stuck, and a lot of times those places where we're stuck, we have some sensitive feels around it. So it's all a lot. After all this, I mean, the energies are going to be there. The energies are going to be pretty pokey, I would say, in this energy. But it does settle down later in the day. And then we have a little lovely Moon-Venus connection. So Moon in Scorpio, Venus in Virgo. And this energy might be like, all right, got to sit myself down. I had a lot going on, a lot of feels going on. Where do I need to tend to myself? What do I need to do for myself? So I love that coming up. At some point, you're going to be able to show up for yourself in all those parts. But I am relieved because this, like I said, does feel like it's capping off some of the really intense energies that we've been in. Again, it's not to say that it's going to completely drop off. Mars is going to be in Scorpio for the next month plus. Mars in Scorpio never lacks in intensity. We're still going to have Pluto and Uranus doing this little trine dance, even without the sun, fully engaging in it. Saturn is still going to be retrograde in Pisces. All of these things are still intense by themselves and all happening all at once. So when I say it drops off, at least it's not Mars and Pluto in direct energy. That being said, even if you make it through the morning, just realize the energies are still at play. So again, awareness is going to be helpful. Be here now card. Be here now. Be present. And surround yourself with your light. And that light will help support others, but it'll also help you in and through these energies. Top of the cards, we have laziness. It is in reverse. My feeling is with this is even if you're feeling low, even if you're feeling a little slow, even if you're feeling a little tired, do show up and do the inner work, do the emotional work in this. Maturity in reverse. This is the Ace of Pentacles. What I would say is today's maybe not the day to start anything, but I also feel it's tending to our own maturity. We all have a little bit of growth to do in and through these energies. We have some inner parenting. We have the creativity card. And this is the Empress as well. So creativity is in reverse. Again, not the day to start something, but it's a day to really just be aware and nurture yourself. So like I said, I did pull the breaking card again, and then I pulled another one. So I was like, well, we got that yesterday. So got the choice. And it says, there is a choice you need to make. You are aware of it already, or it is coming to your awareness soon. Embrace the unknown and say yes. You have the opportunity to enrich your world, to receive, and therefore be able to share much more. If anxiety or fear arises, guilt or shame, treat it as the cleansing of your emotional waters as they receive so much more inflow from the divine ocean. Let the old layers rise to the surface of your awareness to be washed away. What seems to be so much in the context of your own emotional waters is not so much at all when compared to what the great ocean is capable of holding. So let the divine ocean take the old, washing it away from you and replenishing you with the new, so that you may serve life all the better. This oracle brings you guidance. It is safe to choose now. There is no wrong choice, just a choice that resonates with your heart. If this is challenging you, that is an opportunity for you to let the divine cleanse and lift you into the vibration where you feel at peace with your choice, where you can accept the grace it will bring to you. Do this now. It is your time to step up. Phone calls in the middle of recording. What is that? Joe knows better. Anyways, do it now. It's your time to step up, make your life easier on yourself, and open to love in more trusting way. Come now, the divine is calling you to play. And yeah, the divine was just calling. There you go. There's your call. I said no. Oh no. I guess I'll have to call the divine in the form of Joe back. Anyways, I hope you get some giggles and silliness during the day and just move with grace through this intensity, these intense energies. Besides that, you can book a reading, you can book a clearing, email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. And the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power, and may your guiding light be strong, and know that you can trust the process. Namaste.